What's up, baby? It's time for that space talk. Obviously, Pittsburgh Steelers did not get the job done. Was it 29-17? I believe that was the end of this thing, man. But either way, man, we're going to break it down, get that instant reaction because there's a lot that we need to digest in that thing, man. But either way, you know how we always start these things out, man. Let me know where you are tuning in from in the chat. After that, man, I'll give you that big boy shout out to start it off. And also make sure you are liking the stream. And if you have not already done so, make sure you subscribe to this channel and hit that notification bell as well. But yeah, man, you got a lot to dissect, man. A lot to dissect, both good and bad. I will say that, man. Alrighty. All right, I see the homie Knight right at 16, tuning in from the 318 Louisiana, aka the Boot. Yes, indeed. Jacob Malicio tuning in from the 919 North Carolina. Gone raise up, baby. I got you, man. Big time respect. Then after that, man, I got the homie DM 4191 tuning in from the 760 Fallbrook, California. Rough night. Yeah, at times it was rough, but at times there was some optimism out there, man. But obviously we'll get to all of that. The Brobarian tuning in from the 757, aka the Carib. Big time love for all my peoples back there in VA, you know that. Brian Stevenson, I see you in the 919 Rough Raleigh representing. Fresco Ralisco tuning in from the 724 Butler PA. Respect. And then Top Cat chilling by the trash. The 804 Amelia VA. Major respect, man. Appreciate each and every one of y'all that are in here tonight. And I see the supers coming in as well. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. But as we always do, let me start off, right? Let me take a little sip and get what I got to get off my chest first. Okay? Because like I said, man, plenty to dissect in this game tonight, man. All right, so first thing that I want to talk about, man, was obviously quarterback play. I thought first half, man, Mitch looked really good. Mitch was doing a lot of the things that he was criticized for, right? Not being able to take shots downfield. He was super aggressive tonight, taking some of the shots downfield. Obviously, he hit George Pickens with a filthy one hand. Yeah, that was one of them ones. That was filthy. That was filthy. But obviously, he hit George Pickens for that one. Hit Deontay a couple of times, and honestly, had another one that dropped right in that pocket as well, man. And then we also saw him going to Claypool, hit him a couple times deep as well. And you can make a question or make it a case that, you know, Claypool had left one of those out there. Then towards the end, granted, he waited a very long time to involve him, and I was not very proud of that. But he did hit Pat Freiermuth towards the end of the game. Like I said, first half, I thought that he was doing well. I thought that he had finally cut back on being super safe and being super careful and just having a better understanding of that risk mitigation, right? Finding that common, that balance of, all right, this is cool, this is safe throw, high percentage throw, but now let me give a George Pickens a chance. Now let me give a Deontay Johnson a chance. I thought that he was really intentional with that, and I was really impressed with that early on. I also thought Matt Canada in the first half was doing his job as well, man. I thought that he was putting together some really nice drives in terms of his play calling, just scheming up plays where you're seeing more of the receivers running downfield. But he also was showing some trust in Mitch, allowing him to use the hurry-up offense, the tempo. And we saw the success that had on multiple occasions. And that was something that I liked. And that was something that we had been missing. And we had been asking, where was that at, right? Is that a Mitch thing or is that a Canada thing? But I thought both of those two guys in particular, in the first half specifically, I thought that they answered, you know, a lot of the criticism. Now, the problem to me with both of those guys was in the second half. We saw them revert back to, you know, what it looked like last week. The play calling became really stale. The conversions in terms of Mitch being able to hit some of these throws wasn't as consistent as we would like to have been in that second half. Now, all of that wasn't on him. Like we said, man, a couple of those throws, you're looking at the receiver, you're like, man, you got to come down with that. But as a whole, Mitch and Matt Canada didn't do enough to me in that second half. But this wasn't about them. I personally didn't think that they were the reason at all that, you know, we lost this game, because to me, I thought that Mitch definitely did enough at that quarterback position. I know everybody was saying, oh man, Kenny could have. Yeah, I hear you, but Kenny wouldn't have done what Mitch just did tonight. I'm not hearing any of that right now, man, personally. But to me, man, I thought that when you talk about the ability to be elusive at times, Mitch was giving you that. Now, some of it wasn't necessary, but it still was effective. But we still need to see it more consistently. And that's the thing that we're talking about. When we're talking about this offense, we're saying patience, patience, giving it more time. Well, you saw what 3 weeks of this offense essentially looks like now. It's getting better. There's optimism because we did see these type of plays happen. We can point to these things and tangibly say, hey, man, I saw this. I saw that. I saw this. I saw that. We just needed more. That second half was not enough of that. But they'll get it going. They'll get it going. O-line, I thought, played well in the first half once again, right? The pass protection was good. I thought running the ball was good. And speaking of running the ball, shout out to not just Najee, but Jalen Warren. Now, young boy, please stop putting the ball on the ground. Gotta stop doing that. But I thought the Jalen Warren and Najee Harris, man, they both toted the rock really well in that first half. Second half, like I said, the offensive line, though, it wasn't as consistent as we would like to have been. And that was a part of that issue offensively. I thought as a whole, all of the productivity went down. The focus kind of went down in a sense. We saw obviously at the end, even Deontay just having the little lapse in judgment, not getting back and getting set up in time. Little things like that. But I thought as a whole, that was what really started to plague the offense in the second half. Now defensively, very inconsistent. Number one, we could not stop the run. They had 38 rushes on the ground, 171 total rushing yards. But more importantly, Nick Chubb, 23 rushes for 113 on the ground, plus the touchdown. He was the trendsetter. He was their guy. But we knew that going in. We said, man, hey, this is one of those matchups, and when we talked about the 5-star matchups, we said, man, you got to stop Nick Chubb. And we were more so pointing at Miles Jack and the linebackers and stuff like that. But yeah, I thought the linebackers were productive, but they could not stop this run. And it wasn't just on them. It was a group effort. But that was the first issue to me, man, not being able to stop the run. That killed us. It allowed Jacoby Brissett to feel very comfortable out there because the offense was balanced. This wasn't a one-dimensional offense where we're pinning our ears back and saying they're going to throw the ball every time and now we can get after them. No, this is an offense where we're like, man, are they running the ball? Is it play action pass or is it drop back? So they really kind of had us on our heels there. But I also thought that up front, their offensive line really won the line of scrimmage. Was kind of surprised at that because obviously these guys were banged up coming into the game and stuff like that, but they really controlled that off the line of scrimmage, and I thought that not just allowed Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt to have the success that they had, but it also allowed Jacoby Brissett to feel extremely comfortable to the point where he was actually looking like a legit good quarterback. I was like, bro, this is crazy. Like crazy. But when you have time like that and you're not under duress, you're able to do those things. And then we saw, obviously, Amari Cooper having one of those Amari Cooper type games. 7 catches, 101 yards, and the touchdown catch. Yeah, he was on one tonight. I still don't know how he ran out of bounds at the beginning of the game, too. Like, just lost where he was at completely. But as a whole, man, as a whole, that has to be better. Defensively, we got to be better. Because for us, our offense, like I said, man, this isn't an offense that's designed to average 30. It's not. But we got to have a defense that's designed to be elite. And I know we're missing TJ Watt. But in the interim, we have to figure out some type of way to generate more consistent pressure. Because we can get it every once in a while, but it's not consistent enough. We need to do that first off. And then after that, man, we got to consistently stop the run. Can't have guys, individually rush for 113 yards, but then as a team, 171 yards. That's going to hurt you each and every time, man. But like I said, those are my initial reactions off of this day, man. But now let's go check out some of these super chats and these questions and comments, man. But more importantly, make sure y'all liking the stream. I do see a lot of y'all in here, man. Salute each and every one of y'all rocking with me tonight. Like I said, man, make sure y'all like the vid. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. And more importantly, hit the notification bell. Take my sip, and after that, Fair and Bradford, I'm coming to you, baby. All right, Fair and Bradford. That illegal man downfield killed all momentum in the offense. Offense answered some things, but we need to get an identity fast. Defense too slow in making adjustments. Could have played more press. Well, Fair man, I think you bring up some really good things right there. And actually, let me bring up this here cool little topic. Bam! What's the point of having graphics if I ain't gonna use them, right? Hey. All right, but yeah, that that did hurt us a lot, man. Just in terms of the timing of it, because we were having a nice drive right there, honestly, man. But yeah, that definitely killed the momentum on that. But the offense early on, they were answering. Every time we saw the Browns score, we would respond back. It was kind of crazy in a sense. We were like, yo, we're actually looking competent out here. We actually got a little firepower. We actually throwing the ball downfield. It was kind of crazy. Yeah, it was exciting, but just wasn't enough of it. And yeah, defensively, the adjustments, I think it was a couple of things going on with that. Yes, we would have, I mean, in a sense, you want to play man and stuff like that, and I get it, but I think they respected Amari Cooper, and rightfully so. We saw what he is capable of tonight. So I think that was the first reason why they weren't going to do a ton of man. But I thought the other thing was when you're playing some of the zone stuff, especially some of the cover 3 stuff, you're bringing that extra safety down to the box. And why is that important? That helps to stop the run. Unfortunately, that wasn't working, though. And when you're not able to stop the run, and you're not even playing tight man coverage and stuff like that, you're going to have these type of situations, man. But that is more so a credit to the Browns offense and them just being able to stay multifaceted. We never made them one-dimensional. You got to stop the run when you're playing the Browns. That's the first thing we talked about in terms of me and Deke on the podcast. I'm sure any person you listen to for a pregame show, whatever, that's all they talked about. You got to stop the Browns rushing attack. So we knew that going in, but unfortunately, we did not execute it consistently enough. And yeah, when you don't do that, that offense is going to be able to look as good as they were looking at times tonight, where they can throw and run, because they do have talent, but it starts with them being able to run that ball like that. That was tough. Tough to watch at times. All right, Q. Shout out to Q, by the way. He says, Canada has to have something on Tomlin because that second half was just inexcusable. Yeah, I'm with you, man. The second half, I don't know what adjustments or lack thereof that was made, but that was very disheartening, man, because that first half was very promising, but it was frustrating when you think about how that final drive of the first half went. Right when we got the ball with the 30 seconds left, we hit the nice throw. I think it was to Claypool, but after that, it was what, three, 4 passes, just airmailed. Nothing good really came out of that. Nothing really schemed up and stuff like that. And we know time-wise wasn't the best, but I thought from then on, our offense never really got back into a rhythm outside of that last drive from Mitch, where, you know, they're pushing it down the field and stuff like that. But obviously, you know, we have to settle for a field goal. So still wasn't good enough, man. All right. Florida Made JB. Shout out to Florida Made JB. He says, I told you, this will be Tomlin's first losing season. Well, we won't know just yet. We're only sitting at 1-2, baby. So pump your brakes, pump your brakes. All right, Jared Smith. Pickens should not have gone for the one-hander in the end zone. Rookie mistake. I think you got to put a little bit better throw out there. Personally, when the All-22 comes out, we'll be able to see it a little bit better. But yeah, when I get a chance to see it from a better view, we can really debate who was at fault right there. Should it have been, you know, Pickens going up with 2 hands, or did it need to be a better throw? Like I said, my initial reaction was I thought it needed to be a better throw, but we'll check the tape when the tape comes out. You know how we do, baby. All right, Fair and Bradford. He also says, we can kill all the Kenny chants. Mitch looked good. It's bigger than just him at this point. Need consistency as a team and rest for the defense, LOL. Yeah, man. Starting in reverse order, the defense definitely needs to get back healthy. Well, obviously, they're not going to be able to get back healthy until TJ gets back, but obviously, we lost Akella Witherspoon as well, hamstring injury. So we'll have to see what that looks like going forward, because if he's our top corner or one of our top 2 corners, being that him and Cam Sutton have been starting, now that's a huge piece that you're losing, essentially, man. And when you're talking about losing him and not having a TJ Watt, that could, you know, bring us some issues potentially, man. But we will see, because obviously we'll have the extra time now since we played tonight to have a little bit more time for that Jets game. But going to Mitch, yeah, I thought that Mitch did play well at times. First half, I thought he looked good. I thought he looked really good in the first half. Second half was not enough. That last drive in the fourth was cool, but it was kind of like too late by then. I think it was 4 3-and-outs in a row before it had got to that point. That type of drop-off, that's what we're trying to avoid. But we can't acknowledge the drop-off without acknowledging the fact that that first half was really daggone good by him. So I do like that from you, Fan Bradford. So I'm with you, man. Stop them chants, please. Or you can keep them going, however you are. Get it how you live. You know that. AJ Martinez, what in the heck is going on? What's the word, AJ, man? But first off, baby, it is crazy time, man. At times we looked like we was going to be doing our thing. But it was crazy also because it was like, man, when the offense was going, defense kind of was letting the Browns get off. Then we finally think like, all right, we're about to get it going. We're about to put it all together. And then it felt like it all completely fell apart. So yeah, I'm with you, man. What the heck is going on, baby? Cal Gunther, shout out to you, man. Appreciate the support. All love, all love. CDs 86, excuse me for that, says, overall, I leave this game with some optimism and hope, and rightfully so. I share that same optimism, especially from an offense perspective. We finally saw Mitch cutting it loose. We finally saw him putting touch on passes. We finally saw him giving his receivers chance to make plays. We finally saw him at times looking like he was confident and comfortable and truly QB1. But now the other side is we did see him revert back to not looking confident, not looking like QB1, and looking like a guy that had you wondering, could he get it done or not? So, step in the right direction. Yes, huge step in the right direction. I will put that out there. But we still need more consistency from him. But in my personal opinion, I don't think switching quarterbacks right now makes any sense. To me, Mitch showed you that he can lead this offense, and this offense can be productive under him. The growing pains that they're feeling in that second half, that wasn't just on him, like we talked about last week as well. This is a group effort, man. All of them dudes at some point in time in that second half let this offense down. They all got to be better. Offensive line in the second half got to be better. Running game got to be better. The receivers got to be better. And more importantly, Mitch has to be better. And Matt Canada has to be better. But yeah, switching out the quarterback, I think you take steps backwards right now from the development that we just saw take place tonight. All right. AJ Martinez says, Sabotage 7 in full effect. Nah, man. I ain't hearing that one tonight, man. No, that first half was non-sabotagist. That looked professionalist. Yeah. I don't even know that's a word, but it just looked like it. Matt Canada had him out there. That first half was all right. It was willing and dealing in the first half. Second half, but we'll see. And Kyle Gunther showing some more love. Definitely appreciate you as well. Let's go UW says Tomlin confirmed there'll be no QB change, or there'll be no change at QB. Well, I'm glad that he said it, so now we don't have to address a ton of that. But I don't think they even needed to address it because I thought based on what we saw tonight, Mitch showed that, he is the right guy right now. We don't know what that's going to look like in 4 or 5 weeks, but right now, that was growth. Right now, when we talked about how can we measure the adjustments, how can we measure the change, how can we measure the growth to see if Matt Canada and Mitch Trubisky would be good enough to keep this thing going, to just warrant having jobs, right? Whether you're talking about Mitch keeping his job as QB1 and not, moving it to Kenny Pickett, or if we're talking about Matt Canada proving that he still belongs in the NFL as an offensive coordinator. But as I looked at it, it's like, man, some of the things that we wanted to know about Mitch, or some of the things that we wanted to know, could he get done? We said, man, can he throw the ball downfield? Like I said, we saw that tonight. Can he show that it factor? He showed that tonight at times in the first half. Being able to come back and match Jacoby Brissett, match the Browns offense. He showed that. He also was able to show that, hey, he can be elusive in the pocket as well and look like a leader. We also wanted to see him be able to command the hurry-up offense. He did that all in the first half, though. But once again, need more consistency, man. Need more consistency. But I'm glad to hear that Coach Tomlin is fine with what we saw tonight offensively from the quarterback position, so that way we don't have to, essentially blow this thing up, because I do think that is what you're doing if you make that switch right now. Kevin Vega says, you can see Mitch's face at the end. He knows that change is coming. He showed flashes, but he's not consistent enough, and fans want Kenny. So Kenny time. Yeah, fans want Kenny, and that's fine that fans want Kenny, but at the same time, fans don't run the team. They don't coach the team. So I trust Coach Tomlin's judgment with this thing, man. And to me, even with what we saw tonight, I don't see Kenny having a better performance against the Jets than what we just saw from Mitch tonight either. So that's the whole thing I'm just trying to figure out. If anything, you set the offense back further by putting the rookie in right now when we're finally seeing some type of growth, some type of progress. But depends on exactly, what you're looking for. If you're looking for to blow the offense up just for the sake of the Kenny narrative, cool. And then we'll have the other narrative of probably Coach Tomlin not having, his 16th winning season in a row. To me, I don't think that that's what I want, and I don't personally think that's what Coach Tomlin wants. Right now, this offense took steps in the right direction. You don't want to do anything to impede their progress right now, man. They're finally going. All right. Kyle Gunther, he says, Jalen Warren and Pat Freiermuth need the ball. Yeah, man. It was unfortunate that we only saw Pat get targeted, right at the end of the game. But when he did, you saw he was a mismatch, man. This dude can stretch the field. This dude has short hands, man. His run after is nice. Obviously, we saw his blocking on display as well. So, he's a complete guy. But yeah, it was unfortunate we weren't targeting him. I think that in the midst of our offense focusing more on getting the receivers the ball downfield, we neglected our tight ends. Whereas in the previous two games, even though it wasn't a ton of targets to the tight ends, we still were, I thought we just got them involved a little bit more. We didn't necessarily feature Pat, but it would be Pat and just you getting targets, right? I thought this game it was a lot more heavy focus, heavy emphasis on we're going to throw the ball downfield to prove a point. We are going to throw 50-50 balls up to all three of these receivers at some point in time and give them a chance to make a play. So that way you can't say it's play calling, and that way you can't say it's the quarterback not throwing the ball. That's what I thought really was why Pat Freiermuth was not involved in this play calling, or not involved in the offense really for the first three quarters. It looked like that was the mindset. They were very intentional with it. Then it was like at the end, they kind of remembered, oh, we do got this pretty dope tight end right here. Let's get him involved. Let's hit him a couple of times. But yes, I do think going forward, we will see it kind of balance itself back out and actually correct itself, because this was a little bit of a, like I said, an overcorrection. Because not overcorrection, but we liked it. We liked it a lot. But overcorrection in the sense of we went completely just receiver heavy, throwing it down the field heavy, and totally forgot to include Pat Freiermuth, who we know could be a really good player for this offense and help us out a lot, man. But going to Jalen Warren, yeah, I'm with you on that. Get him the ball more, but he got to hold on to the ball more too. It's crazy. You see the burst, the vision is there, the toughness is there. He can block. We saw that as well. But he got to hold on to that ball. And that's the one thing, man, when we're talking about playing younger players. If I'm having questions about your ball security, it's hard to trust that. It's hard to put you back out there in some of those critical moments, man, because a fumble kills you. Turnover tonight, man, would have killed us. We know that. We were able to dodge it. Shout out to Deontay Johnson hustling to get that ball, but a turnover killed you. So that's the thing when you're talking about Jalen Warren, that he's going to have to really, get that thing corrected, because we saw that happen in the preseason, and obviously it also happened to him during training camp as well in terms of some of the ball security stuff. So that is going to have to put to bed ASAP if he really wants to get his role significantly increased, because he's talented enough and you can see it. You can see it, man. Him running that ball, man. Even the play that got called back. Man, he looked so explosive, so fluid as a runner. The vision was there, but you keep remembering that he fumbled the ball. And that is, something that he does not want to have as his label going forward, man. All right. Actually, I'm going to take me a sip, man. But while I take a sip, salute each and every one of y'all, man. I see y'all in here extra chunky tonight, man. Appreciate it. Make sure y'all like the vid as well, man, while we in here. Shout out all y'all, though, man. Thirsty. And I guess y'all say y'all ain't going to work tomorrow, huh? I know about midnight on the East Coast. It's all love. Podcast in the morning. You already know that, man. 9:30 a.m. Y'all don't want to miss it either. But we got Vinay. Shout out to Vinay. Says, the offensive coordinator was not the problem. Defense lost us the game. And that was a combination. Absolutely, man. Defense got to be better. The lack of consistent pass rush pressure, this is the second week in a row now. We are going to have to make an adjustment. If we're not able to win with 4, which is what we try to do at times again tonight, if we're not going to be able to generate pressure consistently that way, you're going to have to resort to more blitzing. Now, we know with that, you're going to put your DBs, at a little bit more of a disadvantage. They're not going to have some of the help that they are accustomed to having at times. But if we're not able to get pressure on these quarterbacks and they're able to just sit back there like how Jacoby was at times, we're going to face a lot better quarterbacks than Jacoby Brissett. We're going to face a lot better wide receiver groups than just what the Browns had also. So for me, man, this is something that, in terms of the defense, they got to get that pass rush corrected. Secondary-wise, we're going to have to figure out some answers, man. Like I said, obviously Keller was struggling at times tonight, but with the hammy, I don't know what his availability is going to look like. So that's something else, man, where you're just like, ooh, I don't like that combination right there, man. But in terms of the offensive coordinator and the offense in general, good first half, but just not enough in the second half. 2 halves. So that's the thing, right? If it would have been flipped, we would have all been, telling a different story right now. If they were struggling in the first half, balled on the second half, man, would have felt good. But that's not how it was. So we feel really deflated. We feel really flat about that offense, man. But that is a part of the process. That's a part of the progress as well. We couldn't even say that we saw a good half of football from our offense these first 2 games combined. Just think about that. This time we can actually say, yeah, we saw a first half of football. We scored touchdowns. We saw big time throws downfield. We got a highlight play. Bro, the George Pickens highlight, man, we're going to see that all year. That was from us throwing it downfield, though. So the offense, they did hold their own in that first half. But like I said, we just need 4 quarters of it. That's all. Sean McCartney says, I said it once, I'll say it again. Season is over. Man, I'm sorry, that you feel that way after 3 games, but, for the rest of us that are still on the ship, let's keep riding. All right, AJ Martinez says, 0 leadership. We as a team could implode. I think we have leadership. No, guys like Cam Hayward, man, that's a leader. TJ Watt, that's a leader right there, man. We're not worried about that. And then obviously Mitch is still very much a leader out there, man. This team is not about to implode or anything like that. I think as fans, we feel a lot more pressure. We create a lot more pressure, a lot more anxiety with it. And we, kind of overreact at times. And that's rightfully so. That's what the fans are supposed to do, baby. You got to be passionate like that. But for the players, man, we're really even keel when it comes to the week in and week out winning and loss element of it. Because you have to be. I mean, if you lose your mind because you lost Thursday night, what you going to do next week when you play in the Jets? It's like, nah. That's how you go on these long losing streaks. Nah, you got to be able to turn the page and say, all right, cool. We lost this. What do we do right? What do we do wrong? Move on. And now let's get this dub, because when you win if you win next week against the Jets, now we're singing a different tune. Now we're feeling optimistic. So that's a part of it, man. But I do understand the passion, and I like the passion. Maximus. Shout out to Maximus. He says, the Bills, minus 30, are going to humiliate this team. Woof, damn, no, we ain't going there just yet, man. You got to also remember this too, man. Every game is different. The matchups are different. The timing is different. We ain't even got to them just yet, baby. But at the same time, if we continue to not be as consistent as we've been, and if that Bills offense and defense and special team unit is as consistent as they've been, then yeah, we will have some problems. But we'll worry about them when it's that week. Right now, we got to correct what we saw tonight. We're going to go from there, because if we don't correct this stuff, then the Jets game, you're not winning. It's that simple. You got to be able to beat these teams. And the way you beat them is with execution for 4 quarters. We have been executing for 4 quarters. We've been inconsistent at times. This team is not coming in with just a big competitive advantage because they got just elite talent upon elite talent and all this other stuff at the main positions. What are the main positions? Quarterback, edge rusher. We're out with TJ Watt right now. We don't have a Hall of Fame top 5 quarterback right now. It makes it a lot harder for you to win games. And with that being the case, you have to be on your P's and Q's for 4 quarters. And unfortunately, this is the second week in a row now where they haven't been able to do that. But that's the beauty of football. We got another week. We got another opportunity next week, man. So got to take advantage of it before these opportunities start to slip away. All right, Skydiving Heck. What up, Skydiving Heck? Hope you're not skydiving right now, but if you are, shout out to you. All right. He says they completely dominated us on the run game. How deflated is that locker room right now? Are we the same run defense as last year? Dude, yeah, the run defense has to get better, man. 100% has to get better. And yeah, you're feeling super deflated. You're pissed off, and rightfully so. This is, like I said, from the player's perspective right here, pissed off because, man, you lost to the Browns first off, and you lost in a way where you made that offense look way better than what it really is. If it would have just been run game, okay, cool. You're pissed off and you live with that. But it wasn't just run game. It was run game and their passing attack. So yeah, you're pissed off. You're embarrassed. Realistically, man. But is this rush defense the same as last year? when you don't have TJ Watt is familiar to last year. Yes, because you saw early on them going through the dilemma of, do we do the personnel groupings like we did last week defensively, where we went big nickel a lot and you're playing Cam Hayward and DeMarvin Leal as true DNs versus playing at their D tackle spots, right? So this week we were playing true nickel. We were like, we're not going to put Cam out there. We're going to stick with Malik Reed. We're going to stick with a Delonte Scott and company. And at times it wasn't what we expected it to be. But then I would also see them flip to base, and even then we still were having some issues. So part of that, do you say it's schematics? A little bit, but the other part is personnel. When you lose a TJ Watt, you're losing a heck of a player. This dude is dominant, not just as a pass rusher, but as a run defender. So I think we, and not just we, but like the Steelers, they're trying to figure out how to properly combat that loss, that loss of productivity, that loss in just everything that he brings over there. And they're going through a couple of different ways. Like we said, last week it was more so personnel groupings from a defensive standpoint. This week it was more so we're trying different people out there. So they got some time now. We'll see what they do to try to mitigate the loss of him, because we're still feeling that, man, in a major way right now. All right. Sean McCartney says Mitch's ball placement is terrible. Johnson has too many drops for a 3-year deal, and the highest paid defense is too tired, and nothing without TJ Watt. That's a lot right there. Well, if you feel Mitch's ball placement is terrible, I guess we can agree to disagree, and that's fine. In terms of Deontay Johnson having too many drops for a 3-year deal, yeah, tonight was not his best performance. In terms of his catching, he still was productive, though. That was the crazy part, but he left a lot out there tonight, and I'm sure he'll look at this tape and he'll be pissed, and rightfully so, man, because he has shown, based off of last year and the start of this season, that he is a better catcher of the football, more consistent catcher of the football than what we saw from him tonight. So I'm looking at this as an outlier, hopefully, and not a regression for him, man. Because Deontay, man, these first couple of games, man, you can see him taking steps. You can see the improvement in his hands, stuff like that. I don't know what was going on with him tonight, man. Hopefully, like I said, it was just a one-off. So, yeah. Oh, and in terms of the defense, yeah, man. Yeah, too tired and nothing without TJ. So hopefully they'll have a lot more rest. So we definitely need that from them. And yeah, when you don't have TJ Watt out there, it's hard to be elite, because TJ Watt is the reigning defensive player of the year. So you don't just lose that guy and we're gonna have this, oh yeah, man, put these other guys out there who don't even get paid what this guy pays in taxes for one game check, and they're gonna come out there and be as productive as TJ. Like, that's crazy to think. But that's what we're trying to figure out. We're trying to figure out the best way to just make it so it's not dropping off all the way down here. It could be just like, not here, just like right there, maybe. We'll see, though. All right, Chef Buck. Shout out to Chef Buck, by the way. Says Myles Garrett looked like practice squad tonight. Shut down. That and Pickens were the best parts of tonight. Yeah, man, Myles Garrett was a little tonight. Now, part of that was scheme. You noticed a lot of the rollouts were to our offense's right. Now, obviously, Mitch is a right-handed guy, but a lot of that was Myles Garrett being on the left-hand side, so you wanted to roll away from him. The other thing that we did schematically to help, and this was, I think they showed some of the highlights during the game, was having tight ends over there to chip him. Sliding the line, sliding the protection over there. A lot of bodies, a lot of guys in the C area. Man, they did a good job. And Dan Moore, when he had some opportunities, he did his. He did get ran over that one time. I know. But as a whole, man, I thought the offensive line / Matt Canada schematics did do a good job of keeping Myles Garrett pretty quiet for the whole night, man. So I definitely like that. And yeah, the George Pickens, man, that catch was still filthy. I can't believe it. Like, bro, he's on one. We just need more. Get him to him more. Get it to him more, man. But this was a step in the right direction. All right. Lubo. The drop pass to Johnson was the key play. He catches that. Offense on the field. Defense gets some rest. But in the end, It's Mitch's fault. Well, Lubo, you said it right there, man. You said it right there. Now, that was a unique sequence of an events, yes. And should it have been a catch? I mean, that day was, where's the bread basket? Lord. It was filthy. But either way, there was not a completion. So, yeah. That's one of them things that offensively we'll look back and say, hey, man, this is where we can get better. That's the consistency part. You hit that play, you feeling a lot different, man. But that's the thing where we actually have to hit those plays. Jalen Johnson says, I know we got killed in the run, but Njoku was the killer today. Yes. That boy had 7 catches in the first half. We could not stop this dude. That was also part of that zone stuff we were doing, though. He was finding the soft spots in the zone, man. That was nice by him. On key third downs, Devin Bush, Miles Jack, and Robert Spillane with 3 blind mice trying to cover him. Yes. But like I said, not all of it was necessarily man-to-man. Some of it was zone. Once the all-22 drops, we'll be able to see a lot more of that. But, yeah, as a whole, Njoku, he was kind of the surprise for me watching them on offense because they really hadn't featured him. They really hadn't used him a lot. Amari Cooper obviously had the big game last week, very similar to what he did this week. I think last week was, 9 catches, 101 yards and a touchdown. This week, 7 catches, 100-something yards and a touchdown. So, that was on par for what he was doing. Njoku, though, he was definitely the surprise, man. We hadn't seen him targeted like that on tape for the Browns in a while. But he is a good player, and we can see why they like him. Because he's very athletic. He has that explosive speed, the run after ability and stuff like that. But I will say this, though, man. I did, as a whole, though, I still liked how our inside linebackers were playing. I thought the productivity was there, man. They were, they say it wasn't good enough in the run game, but I did like the fact they were getting to the ball. All 3 of them across the board, man. All right. See where are we at? Oh, might have lost you. Come on. There it is. Nope. Nope. Thought I had it, man. Y'all, the chat be going crazy. Shout out to each and every one of y'all, though, man. Definitely appreciate it. All right. All right. Where are you? Oh, went too far. Now I'm caught up. Okay. So, next one we had was from Lubo. He says, every time I speak of Witherspoon. Oh, okay. Lubo says, every time someone speaks of Akella Witherspoon, he thinks of the video of him versus DK Metcalf. I told you. Yeah, he didn't have his finest performance tonight, but Amari Cooper is a really good receiver. People kind of forget that. He's a good receiver, man. Not somebody that you should overlook. Not somebody that you should just think Akella's going to lock up. But some people did like to think that. Yeah, but Akella's going to be fine, though, man. As a whole, he'll be fine. Hopefully get this hammy right, man. He can get back out there sooner rather than later. All right. AJ Martinez says, our defense is out there 70% of the time in every game so far. Yeah, that's a huge issue. And I thought in the first half of this game, we did a lot better job of keeping them off the field at times. But they also got to do their part, man. You look at some of them scoring drives from the Browns in the first half, man, 10, 11, 12 play drives. That's not on the Steelers offense. The defense got to make a play and get off the field. Context, man. They had the Browns, man. I thought that a lot of their scoring drives were so methodical. 10 plays for 80 yards, 11 plays for 70-something yards, 10 plays for 80-something yards. Like, it was too many of those type of drives happening for our defense. So when we talk about them being tired, yes, part of that is on the offense in the second half with the 3-and-outs. I agree. But the other part, they can't allow 10-plus play drives, multiples of those either. So, like I said, it does go both ways with that thing. Kaza. Moats, 2 things. Number 1, Edmonds, what the heck? Yeah, Edmonds was, yeah. They picked on him a little bit in that red zone, man. Was it Njoku and Amari Cooper? I said, boy, how you draw both of them matchups, baby? That was a rough one right there. And then number 2, Pickens dropped the game. Oh, what? No, he didn't. No, he didn't. I don't know what he's talking about, baby. I'm gonna leave that one alone. All right, Jason Winston, though. Jason Winston says the team looked dejected towards the end of the game. They absolutely did. And I don't know why. I like the fatigue thing. I know people will say that. And is it real? Sure. but the body language, they look dejected. And that's what you're referring to. And that's what I saw as well, man. That's not what you want, man. I agree with you. AJ Martinez, 25, looked lost at times. Yeah, well, some of the things that makes 25 or Ahkello Witherspoon good is his vision. But that's also some of the things that gets him in trouble at times. And that was kind of highlighted out there tonight. But he's a big vision guy. He sees the quarterback. And when he's on his game, man, he stays in phase. He never really loses his guy. But he really hasn't had to, well, think about some of the guys that have had success on him. Jamar Chase, obviously, top-notch receiver. Elite, right? We talked about Amari Cooper. That's another top-notch receiver. So those type of guys, when you're talking about having your eyes in terms of that big vision and seeing a lot, you got to be careful with those caliber wide receivers because they know how to keep moving. They know how to create separation and stuff like that. And that is where he could struggle. So for me, man, I'm sure he's going to look at that tape and say, okay, this is an area where I can be a little bit nosy with my eyes, and this is the area where I have to actually keep my eyes on my work. And it's that fine balance. Another corner who struggles with that has had a lot of success in this league is Marcus Peters. You think about, all the interceptions that he gets, a lot of them are from him just having big vision. But he gets beat a good amount of times on double moves or guys just extending plays because he loses sight of where his guy is because of that big vision. So like I said, it's both a gift, but it can get you in trouble and be a curse at times as well. All right, Lou Bo says Najee Harris missed a block. It's Mitch's fault. Mitch had to rush because Moore got flipped. It's Mitch's fault. Oh no, I get the narrative, baby. You know me. I don't, and this is why I say, as the try to be as non-biased as I can with it. It's like, man, if you watch this game and your takeaway from it was Mitch was the reason, Mitch was at fault here, I can't argue with you, man. If that's because it's like, yo, that's just super biased if you're gonna truly feel that way. Now I know Lou is not that way because Lou is actually doing the sarcasm, which I actually do like a lot. But for those that are on this Mitch sucks train, it's like, bro, if that's how you feel, man, there's no point in arguing with you. Because there's nothing that's going to really be able to change you, because we could point to all the different things that people critique him on and criticize him on. But tonight he showed those exact same things that people were knocking him for that he could do actually. Now, was it enough for 4 quarters? No, but he at least had you for a half. And all I'm saying is to go from him getting to a half to think that a rookie is going to just come in here and give you 4 quarters of what we just grew to a half from with Mitch, and doing it in 1 to 2 weeks, I don't see that happening, man. But like I said, man, if you're on the Kenny train, you're on the Kenny train. So ride the train. But if you're on the Mitch train, ride the Mitch train. And for the Mason supporters out there, don't think I forgot y'all either. You ride that Mason train as well. Come on, ride that train. And ride it. Ooh, ooh. All right. Jay. What up, Jay? Says, disappointed. I felt like as soon as the offense started to play decent in the first half, the defense forgot how to play. Yes. It was weird. It was like role reversals. I felt the exact same way. I'm like, man, we're finally getting drives. We're finally looking explosive. But now we can't stop Jacoby Brissett. We can't stop David Njoku. We can't stop Mark. We can't stop Nick Chubb. We can't stop Kareem Hunt. I was like, man, it was just so frustrating. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. AJ Martinez. O-line looked better. 55 Jr. looked better as well. Man, don't call that man 55 Junior. Stop. That is 55, man. We all 55s, but that's 55 right now, man. But no, I would agree, man. I thought the O-line definitely looked better in the first half. Second half, they kind of got a little not banged up, but they weren't as consistent in the second half. But they definitely looked better. I would agree with you. I definitely would. And I thought that was why the offense was also able to be more explosive in the first half. We were able to take more chances. We were able to take more shots downfield because of them protecting the way that they did, along with them creating the rushing lanes that they provided in that first half. The issue was it wasn't enough of it in the second half. The consistency. Once again, it wasn't just Mitch. It wasn't just Canada. It wasn't just the offensive line. As a whole, offensively and defensively, the consistency in the second half was nowhere where it needed to be, man. All right. But yeah, Devin Bush, man, I like what I was seeing from him, man. Like I said, wasn't the all-pro performance and like that, but dude, let's not act like he wasn't out there flying around and playing with intensity. I loved it, man. He made the one play in the backfield, gets up, flex on. That's the energy that we want. That's the energy that we love. Act like you got a little attitude. What? It was Kareem Hunt. That was the one. Yeah, down by the goal line. I like that one a lot right there. I like that. Absolutely. But that's what it's supposed to look like. Devin, so keep that thing going, man. Let's get it. All right. Tyree McClendon. He says, does Tomlin have feel for the team? No one riding with the QB. I didn't get that perspective, man. I know that the broadcast is trying to really push that narrative home that, nobody believes in this quarterback on the team and that these receivers are so pissed off. And they literally go to him whenever they make any type of face. I'm like, the one play Deontay is, I think, pissed with himself. And they're trying to make it like, man, I think Deontay runs the one route, passes over to the left. I forgot what happens, but Deontay is like just, we almost had an opportunity there. The broadcast, he's going on and on. Oh, man, these offense guys, they frustrated with the court. I'm like, man, y'all hearing the narrative and just running with it. You got to stop that, man. So, no, I don't think that any of that is to the point where it should be a concern. And in terms of Coach Tom having a feel for the team, absolutely, I trust in Coach Tom having a feel for this team. Coach Tomlin 100% has a feel for this team, man. It's 3 weeks. We got time. We already talked about some of the growth that we're seeing. But early on with a team that is constructed like this, where you had big changes, this is a part of it. It's never going to be this smooth, everything is perfect out the gate with all that type of change. This is a part of it. But you can see them taking steps. Just got to hurry it up, though. And obviously they will, man. Got a little bit of time here. Just got to get it right, though. All right. Squancheesy says, Kenny. All right. I could dig it. Jillian Stokes says, we need to let up on the second half more and give our defense a breather because the defense all second half was tired and wind out. Need defense to stay healthy. No, fair enough. But in the first half, when you look at those scoring drives from the Browns, the Steelers' offense was sustaining drives. The Steelers' defense needs to get off the field. They can't allow those long double-digit play drive lengths to happen. It was too many of those. That will make any defense tired. And then when you talk about complementing that and then get into the second half when the offense is actually having, 4 3-and-outs in a row? Yeah, that's recipe for disaster. But in the first half, they had an opportunity, multiple opportunities to get off that field. Take advantage of them, especially when the offense was actually helping out. All right. Lou Bo says, Pickett was a wasted pick. We should have went defense. Cam is getting older, Larry coming off an injury, and so is Aluwalu. We need help on defense. Well, we're missing TJ Watt. When you don't have a TJ Watt, everything looks a little bit different defensively, man. If TJ Watt is out there, we're not talking about any of those dudes being old, coming off injuries, or anything like that, because TJ Watt will be out there. But when you don't have TJ, you feel the drop off. Yeah, now we're looking around like, man, who's going to step up? Who's going to make the play? Who can beat their one-on-one? It's a lot harder when you don't have a TJ Watt out there. So we obviously got to figure out the adjustments we're going to make. I think we will get more blitzing. That's going to have to start happening because right now we just aren't winning enough of the one-on-ones up front with the group that we currently have. And yeah, we just need more of that, man. And Kenny Pickett is not a wasted pick just yet. It's 3 games. We don't know just yet. Just give him time. Give him time. All right. AJ Martinez says, Matt Canada's offense is strange. When is Coach T pulling the plug? Or should he? Strange is a nice way to put it. I would agree with you on that, but I don't think you pulled that plug. Not after tonight. Man, let's not act like that first half did not have you, me, and a lot of other people very excited about how the offense looked. That is called progress. But that progress was happening because of the patience from the first 2 weeks. If we would have made a switch at quarterback, if we would have fired a Matt Canada, you're not getting the first half actually looking good. You're not getting any of that. But because they're getting more time, you're seeing it get together a little bit more. But we still needed to get together for 4 quarters because that was still just a half of football. But once again, we hadn't had a half of football to talk positively about this offense all season. So once again, this is progress. All right. Moneybags says, started out like this last year. We got to relax. Thank you, Moneybags. Thank you. I think the Chiefs started out like this too last year. Now, granted, they got Patrick Mahomes, but they started out a little rocky. You saw how they ended up. Stang Mang 21. We saw Mitch correct. What we saw with the we saw Mitch correct what we saw with the deep passes. Canada let go of the reins. The line looks straight. I see Kenny in the horizon. All right. I don't know if that's good or bad, but I'm rocking with it, baby. All right. Where Mason at? Is Mason in the horizon too? Now I'm wondering. Shout out to Mason. Tyree McClendon says Tomlin coach scary to not have TJ disappointed. Tomlin coach scary to not have TJ disappointed. I don't think Tomlin was coaching scary tonight. No, I wouldn't say that. But at the same time, yeah, I don't think he was scary. I don't think that was the case. I don't think we executed enough. I would definitely say that. But I don't think we're scared. Yeah, I don't think it was a lot of living in our fears. I ain't seen any crazy calls or questionable calls where we're like, man, come on, you gotta be a little more aggressive here. I ain't think that. Nah. All right, Jason Winston says, doesn't matter how you start, but how you finish. Absolutely right, man. Absolutely. AJ Martinez, Tata's 10 would be fine if he wasn't thinking so much. If it's there, throw it. If not, tuck and run. Well, we did see a lot of that in the first half. Let's not act like we didn't see that. Let's not do that. Come on now. Y'all know this. Second half, though, you're right. Got to be 100% better. All right, Farron Bradford. To be honest, no one cares if the fans want Kenny. Ooh, start out hot then. Say it with your chest, Farron Bradford. Yeah. He says Mitch has the team backing him. Yeah. All right. I'm so sick of this. Well, that makes two of us. But actually, I got time. I'll be chilling. He says, since when has the fan base that represented blue-collar hard workers become entitled? Crazy. We need to chill out. Shout out to you, Farron Bradford, man. I can respect your comment a lot. You know that. From the heart, baby. From the heart. But at the same time, we do know passion is real, man. And when you're passionate and you think that this is the answer, hey, man, you're going to look to that and you're going to say whatever it means or whatever it takes to get that, you know, regardless of if you understand what that all encompasses. But hey, it's passion. Let the passion live, baby. Let the passion live. We ain't knocking it. All right, Derek Clark. When we were in tempo, we were moving the ball well. No, you're absolutely right. We definitely were. And that was something that we needed to see. We wanted to know, hey, does Matt Canada trust Mitch Trubisky enough to give him the reins to run tempo offense? Because we hadn't seen that in the first two games. Well, clearly Matt Canada did trust him enough. So now we needed to see, could he actually run it and be efficient and effective? Sure enough, he was. So that's why we're optimistic. That's why you can feel good about that in a sense. But we need to see more of it. In a sense, yeah, I thought in the second half that was something that they might would have wanted to get to. But at the same time, I think because they weren't having the type of success on first and second downs, it's hard to start tempo offense off of an incompletion. It's hard to start a tempo offense after a negative run play. So that was some of the things I think, like, in terms of Matt Canada and Mitch Trubisky, man, when you're trying to get some type of positivity in that second half, you got to get, this is a call that we know we're going to complete. This is a easy call, a gimme call, something like that, just to get a drive started. And then from there, now you can go ahead and get your hurry up offense or get that tempo offense going in the second half that we saw in the first half. Because like I said, we just didn't see that until that last little bit of time where he was hitting Pat Frymouth a couple of times. All right, Lou Bo. If it was up to the fans, Juju will be our number one receiver. Sad face. Oh, man, that's crazy. Oh, man. But passion is passion, man. You need the passion, man. I like it. I like it. Hey, man, that's not nice, Angel. Don't tell me to shut up. Why would you say such a thing, man? Say, come on, baby. You got to be better than that. Y'all thought I won't pee-pee. Now I got to get you. All right. But, anywho, back to the nicer crowd over here. In terms of AJ Martinez, shout out my dog, says, prayers for my pops, Ernie. I'm taking him for eye surgery in the AM. Nothing bad, just cataracts and age. LOL. Whoa. Definitely got prayers for your pops, Ernie, man. Make sure you keep his eyes feeling good, man, and getting right. You know that. Oh, you know, you know it's big love for you all over there. I see you, David Kapoor. You know, baby Bubba. You know what it is, baby. Come on now. You know how I feel. You know that. Yeah. And Angel, it's all love, baby. But you know, that's the problem. You can't tell me to shut up, and now you want to come back and backtrack and say, oh, I'm just pissed off with the offense. Catch my drift? Because if I blocked it and was like, oh, you can't come back in here, now it's an issue. So just think about it next time. All love, though. You know that, baby. All love. Anywho, where are we at? Fair and Bradford. Let's go. Says, to be fair with blitzing, these last 2 weeks were some of the better offensive line groups our defense has faced, but yes, something has to change. No, you're right, man. This Browns offensive line group is a good offensive line if we're being real about it, especially when they're healthy. And we did see some of that tonight, man. When they're healthy, yeah, they got good guys that can match up with us. And when you don't have a TJ Watt, now we don't have that X factor over there to kind of say, you know what, we don't care how good you guys are. We have this guy. So, yeah, we did feel that and experience that. But at the same time, we still got to be a lot better in our front seven defensively, man. It'll be interesting, though, when we get to watching the tape on the Jets to see how improved their offense line is. Because if it is not, then maybe this is one of those ones where you kind of get back on track, man, and kind of feel good about this pass rush again. Because right now, it is just not enough. It is not, like, these last 2 weeks, man, it's been leaving us wanting more and more and more. So we will see, though. We definitely will. All right. D'Angelo May. Shout out to D'Angelo May, by the way. Says, Spoon got cool just about every play. Hold on. You're saying Spoon got cooked just about every play. It hurt watching. Yeah, like I said, he had a rough night. But he was also matched up with Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper's a good receiver, a really good receiver. Don't lose sight of that. So, yes, was he getting beat? Yes, he was. But it's not the end of the world because you're not facing Amari Cooper every week. Now, we might have to understand that next time we face a receiver of that caliber, you can't play as much of Akello being isolated on that guy. You might want to have a little bit of hope, keep that safety shaded outside and stuff like that. But we will see. We will see, man, because, yeah, that was not his finest night. He's been a lot better than that, though. And that's the crazy part. But you play this game, you're going to have some performances like that. AJ Martinez says, yes, we the fans do trip out at times. It happens. It happens. But at the same time, that's what makes fans beautiful, though, baby. You got to have that passion because if you don't, then why do you tune in? You got to be able to be like, yo, I love this team. And then when they do not so well, hey, man, this team got to be better. Or I hate this team. I get it, but that's why you love it. So never stop being true to yourself, baby. Come on now. All right. John Cooper. Oh, Chad Jumbo. Oh, there we go. All right. Chad Cooper says, I do think after week 9, we see TJ come back from injury, and we see 8, in terms of Kenny Pickett, start a sneak into the playoffs. Okay. Well, I like the optimism. I do, man. I do. Number one, the sooner TJ get back, the better. But I only want him back if he's going to be back. And what I mean by that is, like, if he's healthy and he's not going to risk re-injury, he's going to be able to come out there and do his thing. Yes. Otherwise, I don't want you rushing him back. And in terms of Kenny coming in and being the guy to lead us to the postseason, well, that's a different conversation. Who knows what this thing looks like towards the back end of the season? Who knows? But, yeah, if he is the guy to lead us to the postseason at the end of the year, man, I'm all for it. You know that. We got to get back to the playoffs, and we got to get more wins in the postseason because we need that extra Lombardi. Okay? Because that's what it's all about. We're not losing sight of that. You know that. All right. 828 style. If we don't beat the Jets, we may not win again until TJ is healthy. Defensive lineups during the game seems to be experimenting on the fly. Yeah, part of that is very much them experimenting on the fly. You think, was it Delonte Scott? I want to say they bumped him up from practice squad yesterday, and he was out there playing some snaps. He was getting his opportunities out there. Malik Reed was obviously out there. They kind of rotating everybody over there. Then they'll still go in what we saw from them on Sunday versus the Patriots, where they'll put Cam or DeMarvin Leal out there at times. But yeah, man, it's It's a lot of trial and error right now. But as I said numerous times tonight, man, when you're talking about replacing TJ, you got to do some of those things, man. You have to. So hopefully this thing gets figured out soon, though. Now, one of the guys we had talked about earlier during the week is like, hey, man, would you sign a JPP, a Jason Pierre-Paul? He's off the table now. He just signed with the Baltimore Ravens. So in terms of finding another like big name established guy that could come in, that list continues to get very, very small as well. So like I said, once again, we try to figure out how we address that issue while, you're waiting on TJ to come back. Chris B. Hey, Moats. What'd you think of 55? Thumbs up? Absolutely thumbs up, man. I like what I saw a lot from Devin tonight, man. I thought that he flew around. I thought he played with great passion. Loved the physicality that I was seeing from him in the run game. He was playing downhill. Obviously, as a whole, the run defense has to be better. And I thought as a whole, linebackers and D-line had to do a better job of getting off blocks. They weren't. It wasn't consistent enough, but to me, 55 definitely played. I thought he played really good, man. I was liking some of the things I saw from him, man. And just when you're thinking about his arc, right, of his career, and obviously coming off of last season, even this preseason stuff like that, man, he's been playing really well these first couple of weeks. You can see the uptick from him, the productivity, but it's not just him. All three of those dudes, Miles, Jack, Robert Spillane, and Devin, when it pertains to some of the physicality, I thought that they were definitely doing that part well. Coverage, we needed a little bit more. I mean, you talk about David Njoku doing what he was doing tonight, zone coverage, man coverage, it doesn't matter. You got to figure out a way to minimize that in a sense. But I definitely was liking 55, man. He's continuing to pick it up, man. So shout out to him, man. 100%, baby. 100%. All right. Oh, and make sure y'all liking the stream too, man. I seen got a whole nother set of people that just pulled up to the party, man. So make sure y'all hit that like on this thing, man, and subscribe if you are not already subscribe, man. So shout out to y'all, man. Hey, Memphis BS, trust me, man, that game pissed me off too. Don't get it twisted. Just because we are level-headed in the sense of how I'm talking on camera does not mean that I'm not pissed off. Does not mean that I want to throw my computer watching us not be able to stop the run. Did not mean that I didn't want to go over there and ram my head on the TV when I'm watching the second half and the offense act like it forgot what it was doing in the first half. I'm just like, bro, what? How? So trust me, I'm with you. I'm just zenned out. That's all, baby. Zenned out. But yes, definitely pissed off. Pissed me off too. All right, let's go. UW. He says, Matt Canada knows the middle of the field exists, right? It's not illegal. Man needs to just adjust or be fired, and it needs to change soon. No, I would agree, man. So first off, we did see some adjustments. The adjustment with the deep throws, that was the big adjustment. The adjustment with some of the rollouts that we saw from Mitch, those are the adjustments, along with the hurry-up offense. He did once again neglect the middle of the field, and I thought that he forgot about Pat Frymouth a lot as well. Yes, got to continue to grow. But at the same time, we got to understand too, if we all, or if a large portion of fan base, media, thought that Matt Canada was just super incompetent, couldn't get the job done, why would we expect him to be able to put together a full game for 4 quarters of deep passing, play action passing, move in the pocket, hurry up offense, middle of the field, jet sweeps, and all this other stuff in just 1 week? That's not realistic. But what was realistic was some of the tangible things that we saw him do this week in terms of his play calling. What were those things? The downfield routes, allowing Mitch to use the hurry up offense, some of the moving of the pocket. Those things are things that we can point to and say, that's a change. And that's why you feel optimistic. But we need more of it. Now that it's on tape, you got to expand it. Now that we've seen you guys do this thing in stadium and have success, we need more of it going forward. So that's what we'll be expecting from him. And that's the standard that we all hold him to. And trust me, Coach Tomlin, that's the standard of how he's going to hold him to them. You know, when he looks at it, he's going to say, once you put it on tape like that, I expect that from you going forward. Don't show me that and think that I'm not going to expect that from here on out. That's the expectation now. You show that you can do it. And they both, in terms of Matt Canada and Mr. Trubisky, showed in that first half that they can have success. But that needs to be more. We need that more consistently, more quarters, keeping it going. So I'm with you. All right. And Let's Go UW says, I'm seeing the Fire Tomlin crowd is starting early this year. Man, you know they got to keep they got their little spot over there because, like, I always like to say, if you don't have haters, then you are not popping. That is like one of my favorite lines. And I do agree with that thing, man. So for Coach Tomlin, it's a lot of people in his corner. I'm one of them. Big Tomlin support over here. But you got to have some of them haters over there. Because if you don't, you are genuinely or truly not popping, man. So shout out to all of the supporters and the haters. You need both. All right. 828 style says, actually, the D was hitting Chubb at the line, but Chubb squatting 625, so he's carrying 3 players easily for 5 to 6 yards after contact. The boy is #country strong. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, man. When they was showing the video of him squatting the joint with the bar linked over, I'm like, yo, that made my back hurt. Yeah, I don't want no parts of that, man. Some of the plays, no, they were. Some of the plays that did hit him in his yards after contact were really good, 100%. But we still can't act like he wasn't hitting some of them holes where, he was on that second level quick. Him and Kareem Hunt. And that's the part where it was guys not getting off of blocks. Sometimes it was guys not being as gap disciplined. And then you had the guys that were, it didn't happen a lot, but it did happen a couple times where you kind of run into the hero ball. And not hero ball in the sense of, oh man, I'm trying to do your job and your job and your job. But just in the sense of, plays about to hit front side. I know I should be the front side today, but I'm peeking because I'm just, it might come back. If it comes back, I need to make this play. I got to make this play. It was some of that happening as well. And when you're doing those type of things with the combination of just actually really good rushing attack and really good offensive line unit, you're going to run into some of those issues that we had tonight in terms of not being able to effectively stop the run, man. So, yeah, they got to be better with that thing, man. But Chubb is a heck of a running back, man. Don't ever get it twisted, man. That dude is nice. All right. Man, it's 12:42, man. Shout out to all y'all, baby. Y'all up late. Black and yellow tech still salute. We live still, baby. Yeah, but it's a late one, man. Lord, man. Wifey upstairs like, bro, I'm going to bed. I ain't waiting on you tonight. So, I guess I'm kicking it with y'all for a little bit longer. Hello. All right. Calculated Snipe says, offense needs more timing, trust, and rapport to be in sync. Play calling needs to play up to our weapons and their strengths in time. Here we go, Steelers. No, you're absolutely right. And I like the level-headedness right there because that is true. And we are seeing that growth. We're seeing them take the steps. Is it to the speed that we would all like? Absolutely not. Don't get it twisted. We, of course, want this to be done right now. I'm over here like, yes, in 10 days, this all needs to be fixed. We need to have it done. But unfortunately, that's not realistic in terms of setting those type of expectations. So once again, we're just saying, hey, building blocks. We saw this. We saw this. We saw this. So now when we get a chance to go back and look at this tape completely, we'll have another set of, we need to check this box off, check that box off, and check that box off. And if we keep doing that, by the time mid-season hits, by the time the end of the year hits, we talk about November, December football, you ask, well, why are the Steelers always cooking during that time of the year? Is because that's our approach. We don't get overly one way or we don't get over the top one or the other in these first month of the season, because we know what you see in September should be the worst version of this team. We're building. So same process. But if you lose sight of that or you lose your mind in this stage, at this stage, you're never going to get to this step because we're going to keep doing this reset. So once again, in time, baby, in time. All right. Ray, what's it say? Rajon, 39. Shout out to Rajon. He says, "Sup, Moats? Mitch played well. He took shots downfield. Nice pass to DJ, but dropped." Nah, man. Mitch definitely did his thing, man. He was straight. First half, definitely more so. Second half kind of let us down, but he was not the reason. He was fine. And Deontay, I don't know why the drop started to come back a little bit tonight, man, but I'm confident he'll keep this positive productivity rolling, man. All right, Grayson Brown says, defense looked gassed. I don't know, Moats. Thursday games favor the home teams heavily. It's so early in the season, but the team looks a bit lost energy-wise. Looking like coming down from the high of week 1. Yeah, so I do agree, man. Thursday night games suck for the players. You're never fully recovered, man. So that's real. And when you are the away team, it definitely sucks. You got to travel. So you're losing a day and a half, essentially, because now you didn't even get to take the full proper rest. Now, luckily for us in Pittsburgh, it's a bus ride. So it's a 2-hour little drive up the road. But you feel that, man. 100%, man. 100%. And yeah, team-wise, energy-wise, they are a little bit, they're a little bit gassed. And that is a part of this process. You also have to remember, man, these teams, they had a full 5 quarters of football to start it out week 1, full overtime period. Last week was another, or Sunday was a pretty tough game. And then you come right here on a short week, Thursday night football. Yeah, that's going to add up, man. But now they get a chance to kind of get their legs back under them, hopefully get back healthy as well, man. And then kind of go from there. But you also have to remember, too, at the beginning of the season, guys are also getting in true game shape. Because even though you're in football shape in the preseason, how many of these guys have played 4 quarters of football in the preseason? None of them. So the first 2 to 3 games, that is also a part of this thing, man. You're also trying to just get back to that part of it. And that's why you hear me always say, man, don't do anything irrational. Don't look at a team in the first 4 weeks and say, oh, this team sucks. This team is going to be great or whatever it is. Because, like, man, everybody's still trying to get figured out in that first part of the season, man. They're all trying to figure out schemes. They're trying to figure out who's going to be players for them this year, injury situations, all of that, man. So, just give it some time. Give it some time. All right. Let's see. Oh, Gorilla Mode. Shout out to Gorilla Mode. All right. It says, sad to see our defense get bullied in every short yardage situation. QB sneaks, etc. were unstoppable. Man, yes, I forgot all about them days on Jacoby Brissett QB sneaks. Bro was picking up like 4 yards on QB sneaks, man. I don't know what was going on with that thing, man. But let me get back to your chat, Gorilla Mode. He says, is this reason to be suspect of the D-line? No, you don't need to be nervous or suspect or feel some type of suspect about this D-line and stuff like that. When, number one, like we talked about, this is a big byproduct of no TJ Watt. That changes a lot for what this defense is designed to do, both in the run game, but more importantly in the pass game. So figuring out how to replace what he brings to the table, that is not easy to do. In a sense, man, it's a lot easier to lose one of your, like a D lineman, like a Cam Hayward, than it would be to lose a TJ Watt, because TJ just brings a lot to the table, And in terms of some of the splash plays, that's the other part where, think about some of the games last year where defensively we weren't necessarily playing great. Nah. But we had the splash element. And that would be from TJ Watt, where there's some strip sacks, punching out a football from running or from a ball carrier, interceptions. He could do all of that type of stuff. So when you don't have him out there, yeah, everything takes a little bit of a drop off. Everything takes a little bit of a decline. And I think we are all experiencing that right now. But that is the part where, when you talk about Terrell Lawson, Brian Flores, Mike Tomlin, they got to get in the lab. They got to figure out, how can we generate pressure? How can we get this defense to be back playing fast and being as productive as it is capable of being without TJ Watt? All right. Young Papi Bonito, what it do? He says, can Mitch please set his feet before he throws? Hey, he needs to do it more consistently. Fair enough. But he does do it, though. He does do it. All right, DJ Davo says, get these likes up, gang. All love. No, you right, gang. Hit the like button. Like it. But either way, I appreciate all y'all in here tonight, man. From the heart, baby. From the heart. Hey, Patrick Charles, I'm with you, man. Bush did play better. Still not great, but better. He's going in the right direction, man. So let's keep it going, man. And finally, the truth. There's no excuses being made when you're talking about criticism. When you're talking about legitimate ways of improving the team, you have to acknowledge what they did well. You also have to acknowledge what they struggled with. If you only look at it with the lens of everything is terrible, the only way this offense, the only way players, or the only way this team gets better is if you make mass changes, then you're never going to be able to have the type of success that you, me, and a lot of Steeler Nation want us to have. But when you do take the approach like how I take, because this is the approach that the team takes, because this is how I was taught. This is how they told me to do it. So that's why I do it this way, baby. But it's not an excuse. No. Because excuses come from seeking comfort. And anyone that knows Coach Tomlin knows you never seek comfort. You seek solutions, baby. Gotta seek solutions. All right. Dang, did I just lose my spot? Oh, no, there it is. All right. Nanzito. Shout out to Nanzito. He says, seeing the offense finally click was so beautiful, man. Ooh, you can't say the offense was clicking. Remember, Mitch is the reason. Mitch is terrible. Matt Canada is terrible. So the offense was not clicking tonight, according to people. I personally agree with you, Nanzito. I think it was a beautiful thing to see that offense clicking in that first half. I'm with you, baby. I'm with you. This is progress. Shout out to you, though, man. So Nanzito finishes this comment by saying, this is progress. It sucks. It has to be this slow, but it is progress. Now, you're absolutely right. The speed of it needs to be improved, yes. But we can't just ignore the steps. We can't just ignore the progress. Like, come on now. All right, 828 style. Moats, watch tape of Cam Newton and Mitch and tell me if you see any similarities when they pass the ball. Both never really ever on the front foot. Main reason I used to say Newton wouldn't last long. All right. Well, I'm sure if that's how you feel about it, then that's how you feel about it. I'm personally not going to go back and look at a ton of Cam Newton and Mitch Trubisky footwork tape. But if you say that's the case, I'll take your word for it, man. Ain't no issue on that. Yeah. All right. MAJD says, or mashed, I don't know. MAJD or mashed says, if/and, when do you think we would fire Matt Canada? I think if they're going to fire Matt Canada, it's going to be in the offseason, man. You don't do something like that and still try to be competitive this season. Like, that's crazy. You know, in the sense of like trying to fire a coordinator and still have a successful and productive season. You just don't see a lot of that happening. Now, can you point to some outliers here and there? I'm sure there will be a few of them. But in terms of the odds being in your favor when you make a fire of a coordinator, whether it's offensively or defensively, and you still being successful, the chances of that just aren't as high. So knowing how the Steelers feel and knowing that they still feel very much invested in this season, I don't see that happening at all. If they were going to make a move, it would be in the offseason, man. That, at least from my perspective. All right. The Funky C-Had. 10 in terms of Mitch Trubisky and the O-line looked better. Play calling? Nah, son. Hey, man, everybody has their opinion on it. Me personally, I think the play calling was better in the first half. I thought it was very still at times in the second half, but I thought in the first half it was a lot better. I thought it was more intentional in terms of some of the downfield stuff. I did like that, and allowing the hurry up offense. But got to be better though. Got to be more consistent. Jerry Ramos, I see you, baby. Welcome to the upper room. Absolutely. And I know upper room members are asking, hey man, what time you get off the stream? Because it was such a late game, I said, yo, we just gonna knock everybody out right now. And then after that, we're going to lay this thing down and go to bed, all right? So we got a couple more minutes here. I'm going to run through these last supers. And after that, we're going to get some sleep. Because we got a bright and early 9:30 a.m. podcast is where we're going to deep dive into this even more, okay? But shout out to each and every one of y'all that are with me tonight, man. East Coast people, man, y'all staying up, grinding with the real one. Salute you. West Coast people, man, hello. Enjoy yourselves. All right. But 828 Style says, I think 22 was watching too much L Bell tapes. He looked better, but still hitting holes slow. 30 hitting them fast and hard. Just gotta hold the ball. Yeah, I don't know what's happening, man. 30. If 30 holds onto this ball, 30 low key looked aight, man. But we did kind of see that. We're not kind of see that. We did see that these first couple of games along with the preseason as well, man. For Najee, he's improving. And we said with him, man, his volume. He just needs more opportunities, more touches. He's going to get it going. He's going to get it going. And we did see that today. We saw him, at least in the first half at times, hitting it more downhill, being more north and south. We saw some of the nice blitz pickup from him, but he has to get it going more. And he will. Remember, he missed a good amount of training camp as well, man. So don't panic on him. But shout out to Jalen, though, man. Jalen straight. Jalen looked real good tonight. Once again, just got to hold on to that ball, man. That's makes me a little nervous when he don't hold on to that rock like that. Now, won't play them games. All right. Mike Lang says, oh, and shout out to you, though, Mike Lang, man, from the heart, man. Definitely appreciate you. He says, for the past 3 to 4 years, we have needed the defense to play perfect to win games. The offense looks like the Duck and Mason years. Teams are run blitzing on first down. Defense gets beat slowly 5 to 6 yards of play, but limits the big play. Yeah, some of that, absolutely. Some of it. But early in the season, a lot of teams are dealing with some of these same issues, man. It's one of them things that for us, we just got to keep getting our thing going, man. One day at a time, one practice at a time, one game at a time, man. We will get that thing right. Because you can see the uptick offensively, defensively. But we know it's not that it's a bad defense. They're just missing TJ Watt. That changes a lot. Changes a lot, man. So that's also a part of this process. Kaza, Moats, you wow. One-hand Teddy attempts, down 2 scores. We ignoring that. Plus, they referenced our movie Life. Out of Pappy, you better believe out of Pappy. Hey now, come on now, Jay-Lay. Y'all ain't feeling the one-hand Teddy. I just want to look at the tape again. I'm just look at the tape again before we pass judgment on the one hand to see who was at fault. Should have been a 2-hand attempt or should have been a 1-hand attempt. Should have been a better throw. Who knows? But we will look at that later on. Okay, but I do feel your pain. The Funky C had Merrill Hodge for offensive coordinator. I'm voting Ben Roethlisberger. That's the one I want as the OC. Because he'll get us right. Hey. All right. Now we got D'Angelo May. He says, it just hurts. Losing to the Browns, living in Cleveland, it's like a Super Bowl win for them. And I do agree with you. It sucks because they suck. And they talk so much trash after they win. And I'm with you on that. I do agree with you. I do. But they did earn it. We got to shut them up. Now, luckily, we're going to get another opportunity later in this season. But they did what they needed to do. So, rightfully, they get the chance to talk. But it's cool. Because at the end of the day, we always got the big flex. You know that. And they did it on the night. 6 Super Bowl championships. Lombardis. 0 Super Bowl appearances for them Brownings. So, we always got that on them. Maybe don't trip. All right. And then the last one that just pulled up. And shout out to you, 828 Style. He says, one day we'll have a great D and O at the same time. You're absolutely right. One day that will be the case, man. And hopefully that day does come soon. But more importantly, man, I appreciate each and every one of y'all, though, man. Y'all have been dope with me tonight. But that is going to be it for our Space Talk. So before you go, make sure you like the vid. Subscribe if you have not subscribed. And more importantly, have a safe night. Stay safe. Sleep well. And until next time, baby. Peace.